There's been a lot of talk this week about the wall. It was one of then-candidate Trump's first promises. Now, building the wall is part of the debate on an immigration bill. Over a decade ago, Israel built a wall of its own to stop terrorist attacks. We wanted to see the so-called separation barrier for ourselves and find out what America can learn from a wall that works. Full Measure contributing correspondent John Huddy reports from the Israeli West Bank border.
On a hill overlooking the Palestinian village of Bet Jala, south of Jerusalem, we look down upon the West Bank separation barrier, snaking its way through the valley and wrapping around the rocky hillsides. It's an impressive view, one that Dr. Danny Terza knows well. The retired Israeli Army colonel was the architect of the separation barrier, or as critics call it, the apartheid wall. 360 miles of fence and concrete barrier that surrounds the West Bank and its nearly 3 million residents.
In March 2002, in 1 month, we lost 128 people that were murdered by terror attacks. And people said to the government, enough is enough. We cannot live with such level of terror. Do something, build something.
Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon approved construction of the separation barrier in 2002. It took 5 years to build. The Israeli military, or IDF, says during the peak terror years in Israel, 1,300 people were killed by suicide bombings. When the largest section of the barrier was completed in 2006, the suicide bombing stopped. Israeli leaders credit a combination of the barrier and Israeli security forces for stopping the spread of terrorist attacks. President Trump noted the Israeli wall just this week.
They say without the wall, we cannot have border security. And all you have to do is ask Israel. Look what happened with them.
We are on the green line. It's a border between the Israeli and the West Bank. That is a Palestinian area.
Lieutenant Colonel Ivry Elbaz is commander of the IDF's Givati Brigade that patrols the northern West Bank border.
They can go, and it's not a jail. It says because it's a security fence, we are allowing them to pass when it's needs.
On the day we visited, 21 people were caught trying to illegally cross into Israel. Terrorism was not a factor this particular day, but infiltration attempts are constant.
It's a combination of sensor that gave us time of the touching or pressure.
So you could distinguish if it's a bird or a human being.
Or a human being or animal.
The Trump administration is considering 8 prototypes for the Mexico border. And like Israel, there will be a combination of wall and fencing, and in some parts of the border, natural terrain to serve as a barrier. In Israel, 30-foot high, nearly 2-foot thick concrete barriers total less than 10% of the West Bank border. On one side of the wall here in Bethlehem, it's blackened and scorched from the years of fighting, of riots. There's even empty tear gas canisters. And then just on the other side here, it becomes a colorful display of protest that's become even a tourist destination. Anton Salman is the mayor of Bethlehem, the Palestinian-controlled city in the West Bank and the biblical birthplace of Jesus. He says there will always be anger if the wall remains standing, anger that often erupts into violence.
You use the word violence several times, and I don't like the word. I don't like it at all.
You wouldn't call what we're seeing violence?
When the people went out in protesting, they went out protesting. It's a civil protestation. They have nothing in their hands, and the clashes became as a result of the treatment that the Israeli soldiers are treated the people in Palestine.
Many Palestinians have compared the concrete sections of barrier to that of prison walls. Others who are allowed to cross complain of long waits and days when the Israeli government shuts down the border crossings without notice. Dr. Terza says America faces similar challenges like that of Israel, including balancing the rights of people on the ground and protecting the security of a nation. But he says, while Israel's separation barrier has been a success, it was never meant to be permanent. You walked every kilometer, every mile of the wall. Would you like to see the wall removed one day?
I really hope that I will be the one, I will be alive, I will be the one that will take off the first stone of Jerusalem. I really hope that there will come a day and we can have peace agreement between the sides, and there will be no frightened of terror, and we can remove these walls and live here normally and quietly with our neighbors, the Palestinians.
For now, Israel's hulking border wall and long winding fence will remain standing. For Full Measure, I'm John Huddy in Jerusalem.